levels. Can you say something?
Hi there, I'm Bob Kulick and you're not.
Exactly. That works perfectly. In fact, were you running? Rolling? Okay, because the first thing I was going to say is, would you say who you are?
Yeah, we got
for the editor. Cool. So my first question is, how did you get involved with this whole project?
Well, I had met Corky at another event, and
what sort of my eyeline is me, not the camera.
oh yeah. Oh, okay, you got it. So how I got involved in this event was that I had met Corky at yet another event, and he mentioned to me that he was trying to put this thing together, and did I know anybody I could suggest and all of that. So here I am, made some suggestions for him, and happy to be part of this charity for St. Jude's Hospital.
And who did you suggest?
Well, I suggested a few people unfortunately couldn't make it here today, but a lot of my friends are here, people that I haven't seen literally in decades. So that's been great, one of which is Dick Wagner, who actually is my mentor. I consider him to be somebody who really showed me the nuances of guitar playing, songwriting, arranging, and producing. And you know, I really owe what I do now, being a record producer, a Grammy Award-winning record producer, to largely in part to Dick Wagner and his inspiration. I mean, the guy is a tremendous musical force in and of and by himself, wrote hit songs by himself. You know, I stole every lick I could steal by watching the guy play when he hired me to fill in for Steve Hunter with Alice Cooper back in the day. So I got to play with him and with Alice and with Tim Curry and a couple of other circumstances where we were able to play sessions together.
Oh, great. Now that you're talking about that, do you know Bill Dern by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was talking to Bill a long time ago, but I was talking to him yesterday. He was at the session. And one of the things I remember him saying is that you were sort of somebody who could be counted on in no time to learn an entire song or an entire set and just go replace Dick if he had sessioned or whatever. How did that all work? Like how did... Who was funneling you work and how was that?
You know, I mean, as with the situation with Dick and Alice Cooper, when Dick asked me if I would fill in for Steve Hunter, he said, I'll give you the cassettes of the show, at the time cassettes. And I said, don't worry, I'll learn all the stuff and have it down cold. You know, when there's harmony stuff, you want me to play root or harmony. I just said, play the roots. So when we got to rehearsal in Australia, you know, it was like, let's take it from the top. I was like, I knew the stuff. And, you know, the same with Tim Curry. You know, when Dick bowed out of doing the tour, you know, I knew most of the stuff, learned the rest of it, and was able to, as somebody who was inspired by him and took it seriously, realizing that the only way to be great at something is to go at it with a single-minded purpose and to be totally dedicated to what you're doing, which I always have been. You know, I acknowledge my gift that I was given to be able to play guitar, and my fate to meet people like Dick Wagner who could help me along, and to be able to participate in charity events and raise money for people who are not as fortunate, you know, as part of the blessing that I've been given. You know, so I do want to always say thank you for that.
Great, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about some of the other players. One person was Fred Mandel in that version of the Alice Cooper band?
No, it wasn't. Actually, Mark Stein played keyboards from Vanilla Fudge. That's who played keyboards, and the rest was Whitey and Prakash and Dick. So it was 3/5 of the original band and 2/5 of the newbies.
Right, and what was Steve? Was Steve playing with Peter?
Steve was playing with Peter Gabriel, exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about some of the other people who were here and some of the work you've done with them?
Well, actually, one of the other instances that I worked with Dick was with Mark Farner. Right during that period when I worked with him with Alice, he was going to produce Mark Farner's solo record, and he asked me to play guitar on that as well as a second guitar player for Mark, because he found that I was always really good at playing with the person rather than competing with the other person. That I can always fit myself in there, and I'm a really good rhythm guitar player. Not that not that I don't consider myself a soloist or anything like that. You know, some of my biggest moments, you know, I'm the guy that played the solo on "Why Do Fools Fall in Love," Diana Ross. That's me. You know, so you know, the Kiss Alive 2 studio side. That's me. Larger Than Life, All American Man, Paul's solo record. Those solos are all me. You know, but as a rhythm player, you know, I was able to fit in with Dick, fit in with Mark Farner. So to see Mark Farner here, I haven't seen him in a few years, you know, is something great. Mickey Free, Jean Beauvoir, those guys I haven't seen in a long time, and Carmine I haven't seen in a while. So there's a bunch of people here that I haven't seen in a long time, which is the other reason why I wanted to do the show, was so that I could actually see some of my friends that I haven't seen in decades.
Gotcha. And Now, your brother plays, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to remember, were you guys both playing with Meat Loaf?
Yes, we both did the Meat Loaf gig together. And we both got up and played with Gene Simmons and Eric Singer at the Rocktoberfest last October in Los Angeles. And my brother and I are slowly getting material together to do an EP. So there will be a Kulick Brothers actual release of something. Just I can't say when it'll be ready because, you know, we're trying to, as opposed to just throw something together, we're really trying to write some formidable rock songs that people would go, wow, these guys really took it seriously and really got something great, you know. So we actually got together yesterday and wrote another piece of music, so I'm kind of really excited about that. And my Michael Jackson tribute is coming out October 22nd. We did a metal Michael Jackson tribute using a whole bunch of metal guys like LeJean Witherspoon from Seven Dust and Corey Glover from Living Colour and Doug Aldrich and Billy Sheehan and Rudy Sarzo and Bumblefoot and my brother and, you know, Paul Diano, Danny Warsnop from Asking Alexandria. We got a pretty wide group of participants on there doing heavy versions of Michael Jackson tunes. Chuck Billy singing Thriller is not to be missed. You know, the guy from Testament. So it's balls to the wall. And all those songs are great songs. You know, even if Michael didn't write some of them, Thriller was written by Rod Temperton. And our version is faithful to the original, except we have our, you know, resident, you know, Cookie Monster attack mode singer on there, you know. Chuck Billy's great, I love it.
That's great. If I pause a little after you finish, it's for a clean cut. It's not, you know. And so, with you and your brother, you must be able to call upon any session person to manage, right? The best and the best are going to come for you guys, right?
Well,
or are you putting together a full-on band?
Not determined yet who else will play or sing. As far as the thing with my brother goes, we need to compose the material so it's right before we can get into the who is going to play on it. Probably my partner will play drums, Brett Chasen, my partner with the studio, my co-producer, engineer. It's great talent. And we'll see who shows up. We'll see who else shows up.
Great. And you're talking about being able to fit in with another guitar player. Do you think it has to do with having a brother? That there's a, you know, the harmony? Because, I mean, Dick is kind of famous for the twin guitar thing that he developed, obviously. Do you think that has something to do, or is it because you met Dick early, or why do you think you can fit in? Was it just temperamental?
I think it was just the fact that I like the idea of two guitar players. This way, if somebody moves to the solo, the other person's still playing the rhythm, so the rhythm doesn't go away, so the nuances of the changes are still made while the person's playing over them. And because some of my favorite bands, the Beatles and the Stones and those bands that I grew up with, were two guitar bands, you know, not that I can't or don't play by myself, but I like having a rhythm player. But I also like two great guitar players playing together. When Dick and I played together, that was awesome, as it will be when Bruce and I play together.
Great. And have you ever played with Steve?
No, I actually never played with Steve.
And can you just say a little plug for St. Jude's?
Sure. I'd like to say that, you know, I'm really proud and happy to be part of such a worthwhile charity, the St. Jude's Hospital. I know they're having another event on Monday as well, and I'm really hoping that they can make the money that they need to take care of these kids who need taken care of.
Great. And the last question, are you going to come stop by tomorrow night or no? The session where we sing?
I might. I'm going to have to see what my schedule is after the show. I'm pretty beat as it is, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I didn't want to be, you know, since I'm mainly a guitar player and Dick had already put the sessions together before he knew I was even involved, I didn't take it personally. As it was, I had my own gigs the other day and the writing thing yesterday as well, so it was just as well rather than being yet another person to want to play. But, you know, I totally support all of it, and I'm sure it's going to be great.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me. All right, thanks.
Oh, this is great.